And look at that. It is time to talk a little wrestling. Brought to you by Imperial RV Center in Ankeny. Our friends over there, big wrestling fans. And Tony Hager here joining us. He is our expert in wrestling. And locally, we had some big happenings, didn't we?
Yeah, last Saturday, Valley hosted their invite every year. And it wasn't really a team heavy. There was Valley, Waverly, Shell Rock, Johnson was in town, and Cedar Rapids, Jefferson. But the real story of the tournament was the upsets that we saw. 120, there was Zach Price from Johnson. He's ranked number 5th. He upset the number 3 ranked kid from Cedar Rapids, Jefferson, Brendan Baker. So that was Zach Price was at 106 last year. He came basically all the way. He lost his first round match. He came all the way back to get 3rd place. So from wrestling from 106 and going up to 120 is a pretty good story in this sport, because everyone thinks that 106 is probably the weakest weight class, but he just showed, I guess, this weekend that he has the goods to do it at 122.
So was there a team that kind of came out on top from this tournament?
You know, Valley right now in our rankings is ranked 3rd, and they pretty much just dominated the tournament up and down the lineup. Really, just a real balanced team. They have a couple of the kids that are towards the top, ranked number 1, number 2. But I think all up and down the lineup, they've got a real good dual team. And Johnson's going to be kind of in that mix. I think they're not even ranked in our rankings right now, and they.
Now, does that surprise you?
It surprises me because it doesn't really surprise me because they didn't have a good state showing last year. We only had 2 state place winners, and when the rankers look at their ranking, they look at what happened last year. So if you don't place the state tournament, you really get no love the coming year. So I think the next set of rankings that will be coming out the week before Christmas, you'll see some of those Johnson kids in there. And
okay, so it takes a while for them to reset then.
Yeah, so the rankers are looking. There's matches on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So there's a lot that goes into these individual rankings. It's a little different than football and basketball because they can really just base it off what the team results are. But in wrestling, you can win on Tuesday, lose on Thursday, and win 3 matches on Saturday. So there's a lot that goes in it. So I think we'll see that Metro team kind of rise up in those rankings.
So speaking of tournaments coming up, is there anything we can look forward to this weekend?
Yeah, well, actually this Thursday, this Thursday, number 1 ranked Fort Dodge will take on the number 2 ranked Southeast Polk Rams here in Altoona, Iowa. They're going to be traveling to Fort Dodge, and there is ranked matchups all up and down these weight classes. We'll actually be streaming this on iawrestle.com, so you'll get a chance if if you can't make it to Fort Dodge. It's going to be a packed gym.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, Fort Dodge has a rich history. But this is kind of their coming out party. They're back at the number 1 ranking, and they really want to show Southeast Polk what they're all about.
Yeah, but Southeast Polk likes being ranked number 1.
They have probably a better history here in the last 10 years, and I know Coach Christensen's going to want to come in there and upset number 1. That's for sure.
Do you see it going one way or the other as kind of our wrestling expert?
I guess I've caught some flack actually on this show last time for saying it's a 2-horse race, and in tournament and duel, it's a big difference, I think. So Southeast Polk, I don't think has a good tournament team, but they have a good dual team. So they will push Fort Dodge. It really depends on what weight they start at. Southeast Polk has really good wrestlers in the middle of their lineup. So does Fort Dodge.
Why would it matter about which weight they start at?
Because it's all about momentum. I mean, if you can get
because that's something that maybe people don't realize about wrestling matches. They don't always start from the lightest and go to the heaviest.
Yep. So 106, 285. I mean, what the coaches can do is they can draw out of a hat of what weight they'll start at. Traditionally, you want to start at 106. That's how it's always been. But they changed the rules where you could pull a weight out of the hat, and it makes it so every duel doesn't fall on that last, the heavyweight to 285. So they're trying to create an even playing field. But it really determines the match. I mean, let's just say here at 113, let's just say they start there. It's the #1 ranked wrestler versus the #4 ranked wrestler. I mean, if the #4 ranked wrestler comes in and upsets him, I mean, that sets the tone for Southeast Polk. They're going to be pumped up, so the next guy in line
is going to be all wired.
Yeah, exactly. So my pick of the duel will be Fort Dodge. I think they just have. I mean, they got nationally ranked guys in their lineup. Brody Teskey, Sam Cook. He's actually a standout football player as well, but he's ranked #1 in the state.
Yeah, well, Southeast Polk is going to take them down. Just so you know.
But as you said, you are going to be streaming it live. When does that all start?
The duel will start. So they'll have a JV wrestling meet before. So that kind of determines the start time, anywhere from 7:30 to 8 o'clock. But you can find all that information on our website at iawrestle.com. We'll kind of update people throughout the night. Hopefully they'll have an exact start time for us, but you know, it depends.
Let us know.
Yeah, it depends how many matches they have.
Now, as far as the weekend's concerned, the Battle of Waterloo is coming up on Saturday.
Yes, Battle of Waterloo has 32 teams in it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 32 teams, and it ranges from 1A to 3A. So you get the real small schools going up the big dogs and 3A, and you really kind of, it creates a lot of debate because everyone thinks that 3A is better than 1A, but Lisbon is actually, they got the #1 seed. There's 4 brackets that happen. Lisbon got a #1 seed, and it's the first time I think a 1A team has been seeded first ever at the tournament. So they've got something to prove up there. Again, we talked last week, they've got that 3-time state champion Carter Happel you know, leading their lineup. So you know, if you get a chance to go out to the Battle of Waterloo this weekend, it'll really open up your love for this sport, because you see these kids on the edge of the mat, and if there's a big win, they just go crazy for it. And you know, local teams here, I guess, that you can look out for. Indianola is going to be out there. I think they're the 5th seed, but they've got a lot of good kids. They can maybe be an upset there. Some other teams that, you know, I think will have the Valley will be out there. I think Valley's probably the favorite to take that tournament. So. Some of the things I wanted to really touch on is women's wrestling in the state of Iowa doesn't get a whole lot of love. I mean, wrestling doesn't get a lot of love anyways, but women's wrestling, we have a lot of young women that are wrestling on a varsity team. They're wrestling boys. We don't have...
you don't have girls and boys, yeah.
Yep, it's so they're going up against the boys, and you know, we're having some success there. Rachel Waters, she's from Ballard Huxley. She's 5-4. She's actually nationally ranked in her weight for freestyle, and she's going to be competing in Las Vegas December 18th for and there's going to be other wrestlers there, Felicity Taylor, no, not Felicity, Megan Black, Casey Herkelman, Jasmine Bailey, there's a lot that I can mention, but they're getting their shot to represent the United States of America in the Olympics in Rio. So
how cool would that be?
So if they'll have this tournament out in Vegas, and it'll basically be a qualifier for a tournament out in Iowa City in April. So Rachel Waters is she's ranked 3rd in the nation, I think, right now. So she could possibly have a shot, and she's a senior in high school.
That's correct.
So, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. All right, so if people want to stay up to speed as to what's happening wrestling-wise in the state of Iowa, what's the best way to do it? The
best way to do it is go to iawrestle.com, or you can check out takedownwrestle.com. But you know, iawrestle.com, we really focus in on the state, and the women's recap just went up yesterday. So if you're kind of interested, you're thinking about, you know, a little bit about the sport and how women get involved, I suggest checking that out, because there is a growing sport in Iowa for women. So make sure you get a chance to check that out.
That was great. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Be good.
Yep.